Hi everyone, hope you all are doing good. Women battling breast cancer or have battled the breast cancer in past have to face a lot of challenges. Lymphedema is one of those. Today we have Dr. Mansi to talk more about lymphedema, what exactly it is and how harmful it can be, and there are ways to prevent it. Thank you, Dr. Mansi, for giving your precious time to us.
Thank you, Dimple, for having me.
So ma'am, I want to understand what exactly is lymphedema in a simple layman language.
So, lymphedema, it contains two words, lymph and edema. So, lymph is like a body fluid which runs through minute channels, which is called lymphatic channels under the skin.
Okay.
And it carries toxic material, waste products, protein and things like that.
Okay.
And they drain into lymph nodes. These are like stations. So these are like small glands which are bean shaped, and these stations are placed at various locations in the body.
Okay.
They act like filters, and this filtered fluid is then again returned to the venous system. So this is kind of a barrier which fights against infections and carries toxic and waste material from bodily tissues. So this is what lymph and lymphatic channel is.
Okay.
So any hindrance in this flow of lymph can cause lymphedema, which is like accumulation of this lymph fluid into tissues. This can actually happen as a primary condition or secondary. By primary we means it's a congenital or a developmental disorders where the lymphatic channels are not laid properly since birth.
Okay.
Or it can occur as a secondary condition which is acquired because of some surgery or some infection. This
Right.
can happen.
Right.
So this is exactly lymphedema.
Okay. So how breast cancer patients and survivors can get affected by lymphedema?
So as we all know that any cancer anywhere in the body first travels to the lymph nodes. So similarly in breast cancer, the axillary lymph nodes are susceptible to carry these cancer cells.
So axillary, we mean to say the lymph nodes
armpit.
which are in armpit.
Armpit, yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So the affected breast and the affected armpit region contains axillary lymph nodes, that's called axilla.
Yeah.
And these lymph nodes can get affected.
Okay.
So as a part of treatment for breast cancer, we have to deal with the tumor in the breast
Right.
as well as the lymph nodes in the armpit.
Okay.
So they need to be staged or dissected and or undergo radiotherapy, and all these procedures can have can cause lymphedema for these patients.
Okay. So my question here is, if a woman has been diagnosed in stage 0 or stage 1, still in that case, will you go to the lymph nodes? Will you check the lymph nodes during the surgery?
Yeah, so by stage 0, it's good that you brought up that question. So stage 0 is basically any carcinoma which is in situ.
Okay.
So for a layman understanding, what we can say that it is not yet a malignant or an invasive disease.
Okay.
So in those kind of patients, lymph nodes can be spared.
Okay.
But any disease which is invasive, even a microinvasion, lymph nodes need to be assessed.
Okay.
So by treating the axilla, what we mean is we need to stage the axilla.
Right.
So it's not that we need to take all the lymph nodes away, but we need to definitely pick up the lymph node which might be the first lymph node which is positive. So that is called sentinel lymph node.
Okay.
So definitely even for stage 1 or any invasion,
Right.
lymph nodes need to be addressed.
Okay.
Then only a complete oncological treatment can be done.
Okay, and this kind of like where you said it needs to be addressed. If the disease is not shown, you know, that it is present in the lymph nodes in any scan or MRI, so you will address it during the surgery.
Yeah. So there can be different ways of staging the axilla, like a sentinel lymph node biopsy or axillary sampling
Okay.
or axillary dissection. So these are the
Right.
3 surgeries which might happen for axilla.
Right.
So if the patient has, like as you said in the imaging, it's not shown or
Yeah.
you can't palpate it clinically,
Right.
then sentinel, that is called clinically node negative disease. So these kind of patients can be taken up for sentinel lymph node biopsy.
Okay.
So in that case, we just pick up one or the first station of lymph node and we check it then and there during the surgery whether
Right.
it is positive or not.
Right.
So if it is not positive, then the complete axilla need not to be dissected.
Okay, then you spare that.
Spare that area.
Okay.
But if it is positive, then definitely we need to
Need to
clear
take
the
out
axilla. So
some
that is
lymph
axillary
nodes, yeah.
dissection.
Right.
So the extent of surgery which will happen for the axilla
Right.
depends upon whether it is positive or whether the patient needs that, what is the stage,
Right.
and there's so
Right.
many
And it varies from patient to patient.
patient to patient.
Right.
And precisely the chances of lymphedema is actually positively related to the number of lymph nodes resected.
Right.
So that is the reason we are being now more conservative towards resecting the axilla. And if the patient can get away with just one lymph node dissected, then why not?
Why not? Of course. Because then it will be more comfortable for future as well. We need
Yeah.
to be a little optimistic as well.
Yeah.
Got it. So, ma'am, how a patient is affected by lymphedema if they have lymphedema in their body?
Yeah, so if the patient has undergone a dissection, axillary dissection, or maybe followed by an axillary radiotherapy, so these are the patients who are at risk for developing lymphedema.
lymphedema.
And as a common symptoms, they might feel initially some heaviness or fullness of the arm.
Right.
So when we talk about lymphedema and breast cancer, we are talking about the affected arm which will get lymphedema.
Agreed.
So there will be a bit of fullness, or there will be reduced skin folds and a feeling of heaviness of the arm, or dragging sensation, like that. Initially at stage 1, this lymphedema might be reversible.
Right.
So if you do some exertion or some heavy physical activity, the edema would appear.
Right.
And by some manage after a while,
taking some rest.
some rest, maybe overnight,
Right.
or with some massages, it reduces.
Yeah.
So that's a reversible stage.
Right.
But gradually this might change into irreversible and permanent kind of edema.
Right.
And even worse, sometimes it becomes like elephantiasis, in which the skin changes and everything happens, and the arm might be swollen for more like 3 times or even 4
I
times.
have seen that in few patients that their arm, and even I've seen it in few ovarian cancer survivors as well. Their legs have been affected after the surgery. But in arms, it is very difficult to manage. It really badly affected your lifestyle, and it also affects your confidence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we talk about dealing with breast cancer, we should also talk about the life which is after breast cancer
Agreed.
treatment. So it's not just only, we should not look at the cancer treatment. Even
Right.
after the best of cancer treatment and no recurrence, if the patient is having this morbidity of lymphedema, I don't think that patient would be happy about it.
Agreed.
So should take every damn precaution which we can do to prevent this from happening.
Agreed. Agreed. So, ma'am, are there any treatments available for lymphedema in functional medicine in the hospitals?
Yeah, so as a treatment, I would say the first thing is we should prevent lymphedema from happening.
Agreed.
And for that, conservative surgeries for lymphedema. So sentinel lymph node biopsies and axillary sampling methods like this is the gold standard now across the world for addressing axillary dissection. So if the patient is node negative clinically and on imaging, so this surgery should be offered as a first choice.
Okay.
And the complete dissection, like a dissection of 30 lymph nodes for example, and out of them 0 lymph node is positive, is a waste surgery for that patient.
Agreed.
So it should be prevented as a first choice. And if this settles, if there is lymphedema, and to treat or deal with that, there are multiple modalities available. Like there can be a complex decongestive physiotherapies, massages. Then there are compressive garments, compressive physiotherapies.
Right.
And regarding surgeries,
There are a few compression machines as
Compression
well.
machines
yeah,
also
people
are
can,
there.
patients
Like
can keep it at
lymphopress
home
and
and
this.
yeah,
Yes.
lymphopress, and they can use
they
it.
can use it.
But it needs to be done under guidance from a
Yes, it has to be
physiotherapist
done from a
or
trained
physician.
personnel, yes.
Yeah. That's it.
And regarding surgeries, if the patient has, like I was telling, 3 times, 4 times, a
Yeah.
morbidly swollen arm,
Right.
then surgical options are also available. Like there can be a vascularized lymph node transfer.
Okay.
So new lymph nodes are brought in from somewhere else and
Right.
placed inside the axilla so that they can channel and
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it like your own body's
whole body's lymph
nodes?
node?
Okay.
Yes. So
okay.
a lymph node which is a
So
normal.
kind of a transplant kind of a thing.
It's a transplant. So it's
Yeah.
a transplant of a vascularized lymph node, which is normal lymph node from somewhere else, and it
Okay.
can be placed inside the axilla so that it can channel up and create a new pathway
Oh,
of drainage.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah. So
That's new.
yeah, that's like even like the plastic surgeons across the world are doing these kind of surgeries these days.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the other way is we can connect, like we make bypasses. So what we want is that these lymphatic channels should drain somewhere.
Yeah.
So bypasses can be created by venous channels, and so
Right.
these kind of plastic surgery procedures can be done for these patients.
Oh, great. That's a good news. I think that gives a lot of hope to the patients out there who are suffering badly from lymphedema, and that's affecting their confidence and their lifestyle. Yeah. So, ma'am, what are do's and don'ts? Like, if someone has out of breast cancer very recently and there is no sign of lymphedema and everything is going fine, so what are the do's and don'ts you would advise them?
So usually what we advise are really basic stuff, like there should be no tight garments over the arm, no tight jewelries over the arm.
Okay.
I know females are fond of wearing jewelry,
Yeah,
and
jewelry
stuff,
or maybe a watch or wristwatch can be
anything which is
tight as
even
well.
the rings are the worst actually, because anything which can be opened up like a bracelet, it's still fine, but which goes through the arm, and it can get stuck because of the edema and things like that are the worst nightmares.
That needs to be avoided. Okay.
And then there should be no pricks like IV cannulation or blood sampling.
And blood pressure monitoring.
Blood pressure, that's also cuff. So there should be no tight garment or pricks over that.
Okay.
And in general, you have to take more care of that arm, in sense like if you have any injury or any cuts or bruises, then you should just pay attention towards it. Do not ignore it, so that it becomes infected, because your body's your arm's immunity is low. You can understand it that way, because the lymph is not flowing the way it should. So you should take that precaution over that, even a small cut or bruise.
Okay. And so, ma'am, what about if any women, they are lifting their child? If you know, what is the weight allowance like? I don't know, because usually doctors say that you should not lift something heavy more than 5 kilos.
5 kilos.
Yeah.
So I think we have you might agree that everybody's body strength is different.
Agreed.
So maybe a very sturdy lady can handle 5 kgs and the other cannot. So you should understand that this is your limit, and probably the arm is hurting now, and realize that and stop doing it. So obviously initially, just immediate post-operative, when the channels are being made, you should not put a lot of strain and weight over the arm, including like
lifting a baby or a bag. Lifting anything, any heavy object at home or outside. Okay. And ma'am, there's another thing that came to my mind, and few survivors have asked me. They do some kind of physical exercises at home, probably yoga or any other exercises. Sometimes in these group exercises, so they are putting their own body weight on their arm, and probably after a few weeks, they are noticing that there is some kind of edema in the arm. So is it because they are doing few postures or exercises?
Exactly. So when we say that we should not lift heavy objects through that arm, so this kind of exercises which is actually the arm is bearing your weight. So these are the exercises which you need to avoid. Like we are talking about 5 kgs or something, and then you do these exercises like this, you are actually wearing even above
25-30 kilos of half of your body weight is on that arm.
So not exactly advisable initially for that one. Maybe.
So any exercise or any yoga, if they want to do, it should be under the guidance,
under supervision, under guidance, and
See, and if there is any pain related to your exercises, don't just think it is a pain due to exercising. It can be due to fluid accumulation in your arm, and can lead to lymphedema, which cannot be reversed in future.
Exactly. One thing I would like to point out here is, like I said, the initial stage is reversible. So if you just catch that lymphedema at that stage and try to let it be like a reversible thing, it's a good thing to do.
That's a good call.
So once the reversibility sets in, then the situations become worse.
Agreed.
So when it is reversible situation, if you catch that this is lymphedema and you treat it and aggressively, I think that is the good thing to be done.
Okay. And ma'am, sometimes few women, survivors, they think that now it's been 6 months, or now it's been 2 years, or now it's been 5 years. Now I'm not at the risk of getting lymphedema. So what are your views on that?
Actually, it's not true, and mostly the patients who have lymphedema, they developed over years after the surgery. So usually after maybe like 1 or 2 years is the time when patients actually start developing lymphedema.
Okay.
So nobody should think like that. So
Yeah.
even patients ask us that whatever precautions you're telling, is it for lifelong? For how long I can't use this?
Yeah.
So this is a question which keeps coming every
Yeah.
time, that okay, so I cannot give a blood sample for how long?
Yeah.
And it's actually for lifetime.
It is. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us your valuable time and useful information. We really appreciate your efforts.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.